and Rumble going out right there. So Kennan's still big to come in for these guys. I believe Voyboy played Kennen in the Week 4 matchup. Balls was not able to, but I think he had Rumble in that one. So they already are getting these guys out. They don't want, interesting enough, blue team banning out Jason this time.
And that's, you know, we increased the cooldown on the acceleration gate, and the few changes with the tier stacking and the Murmana stacking did hit him a little bit, but he's still very strong champion, and it is one of the champions that both Voyboy and Nyjacky enjoy playing. So it's kind of a double threat for Curse.
We'll have to see what Cloud9 decides to do. You can see Lemon right there. He is thinking, the mad scientist support of Cloud9. Always has that pad in front of him. They are considering too, right? They come into this and they're like, they could do this and this if one gets banned or the other. And we actually saw Curse yesterday. They were going and they said, wow, wait, they banned everything we were going to ban. Let's kind of leave the last one open and we may free something up for us.
That was an interesting little adaptation by Curse because their opponents already banned out some that they were going to do. Trying to throw your opponents off by something like leaving your third ban empty is something that sometimes you can do in solo queue, especially if you don't ban the last thing and the other team is looking to get that one very strong and highly valued champion. It comes back to you at second pick. You get 2 picks, and you can pick up 2 extremely strong champions.
So it looks like we are going to have Karthus coming in this game. High won't be, and that goes to High. We have seen Karthus in the top lane, not much of late, but High usually has those quick assassination 1v1 playmakers.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a different look than we've seen recently from High going on that Karthus, but he's definitely very at home on this character, and we'll have to see how well he does at farming with the early lay waste, especially if he gets put into an off lane or a non-mid lane, one of the longer ones.
Voyboy and Saintvicious holding on these picks right now. They're just not even going to hover. They are discussing. It took Cloud9 quite a while to pick up that first pick. We actually have not seen a very... I was going to say we haven't seen an aggressive Edward, but I haven't seen an aggressive Zyra support coming in lately. It's been a lot of disengages, and that's what Edward would have brought us. But he goes for Thresh anyways. I'm fine with that.
I'm pretty sure everybody's looking forward to this. We just saw Xpecial perform very well on Thresh and show how strong of a champion it is and how many plays he can make. Now it's Edward's turn to answer. I'm sure that everybody wants to see the European style.
And a little bit of Ahri love coming out this week as well. Game 1 and 2 of day 2 finding play from her with that Karthus on the board. And that's actually a pretty rough matchup for Karthus, to say the least.
Karthus versus Ahri, yeah. Anytime you have one of the assassination mid laners like the Kassadin or Ahri or LeBlanc going against Karthus, then what they try and do is put the kill pressure on Karthus, so that he's always on the back foot and he's always trying to CS from the very back lines, because what he likes to do is just sit in lane and continue to CS. He loves farming games, whereas any of those assassin mages is going to look for the kill potential and then roam.
Awesome, because High still got his Zed, so he does have his 1v1 potential.
It's a very interesting change right here, because with the Rumble ban, I was wondering what balls would go to next for a solo lane champion here. And by the way, it's just a solo lane that could go anywhere, because Cloud9 have been very vocal about the fact that they don't really consider them mid and top laners. They can go anywhere, and we're going to see a little bit of an adaptation here from Cloud9. Karthus is extremely strong in the 2 versus 1 situation. Yes, he's kind of squishy and you can dive him with 3 people, but it's still very risky. And Reggie has said that you should never, ever 2 versus 1 Karthus. If the Karthus is a good Karthus player, he will be able to handle that very well.
We may see Cop clicking onto Caitlyn. I don't feel like that kind of matches his play style as of recent. He's had that Twitch, he's had that Draven, that kind of rush down, get in range for Expunge, get in range for a lot of damage. He's going to be on the backside of this one, firing in the ace in the hole as everybody gap closes.
And the Xin Zhao pickup along with that, Saintvicious definitely considers Xin Zhao to be a position or a very chancy pick. I mean, only in some situations would you want to use Xin Zhao, and that's when you want to get that early pressure, and you're going to be okay with 100% diving all in. So it's very interesting that he's just picked that up after commenting on the popularity of that Xin Zhao recently in Europe.
If Curse decides to go for that 2v1 lane and does put Saint on Xin in that lane, get that attack speed, get those towers down. It's not for that, but they'll be able to push that one down quite fast. You got Sneaky on the other side picking up Meteos is Nasus, so they're going to be able to do the same thing if they 2v1 these lanes and just take those first turrets out quite quick.
And the thing about this Ashe-Zyra combo that I loved from Cloud9 in their previous 2 games was the fact that before they hit level 6, even both of those champions, they have very long range. Ashe with the 600 and 575 on Zyra. Most lanes, they can out-poke and out-trade because both the support and the AD carry are getting auto attacks off on you at the same time without being unanswered. And then when they hit 6, they have that crowd control combo that we saw in action. But one of the few champions that they can't outrange is a Caitlyn. So the Edward combination with a Caitlyn is one of the ones that I would love to see go up against this very popular Cloud9 combo that they've just returned to over and over again.
I know, Kobe, you've kind of had fling with Tryndamere lately coming into the game. Voyboy picking this up. We've interviewed Voyboy recently, and he said, I love it when they let me play a champion where I can just completely carry the game. So we're going to expect to see that from him in this game.
And he loves to be split pushing. Tryndamere is a champion, very slippery. If you can make use of his kit by split pushing and just farming up in the late game, you're going to catch people off guard that haven't been hit by one of your crits yet, because you can literally 2-shot an Ashe in the late game.
The only one that's going to be able to take a few of those shots is Nasus, because you have a Zed, you have a Karthus, who especially if into that top lane, because you are going to be going against that Trynd. Xin Trynd is going to drop a Karthus if he's in that lane in a few seconds.
Yeah,
if they 1v1,
one of the things I like about Curse, you know, even though there was a Nasus pick here, and they've got an attack speed reliant character, they have 3 attack speed reliant characters. So if you're gonna wither somebody, you're gonna have to make your choice there, because Xin Zhao, Tryndamere, and Caitlyn all would be primary targets for that wither, and he's only got 1, so he's not gonna be able to get that on everybody.
All right, here we are hopping into game 2. Cloud9 versus Curse. Definitely gonna be a nail biter between these two teams. Curse on their momentum run, but Cloud9 momentous. These guys are they are a monument right now. The highest and most winningest, getting all the inningest out, all these adverbs and just getting them out.
I feel like you're going to build a high statue or something. You're going to build a giant Meteos in your...
The comment train is not stopping. We'll see what these guys do for the level 1 invades. Meteos coming around the side. Not too much is going to come from a level 1 Tryndamere, so you can see not really giving respect to each other as they just do-si-do.
Yeah. You know what? If Cloud9 do get to Worlds and they perform well, you know, at least getting to semis or something like that, I feel like they could deserve some North American monument here to saving the North American League. But in this game,
point of your favorite Cloud, it's theirs.
In this game, though, I think the strategy that Curse are looking for is split pushing, because they actually have a very dive-heavy composition, and Cloud9 have the queen of disengage, Zyra, who's amazing at countering that. She has so many answers with her Strangle Thorns and her Grasping Roots that's going to be difficult for all these melees and even Ahri on the fairly short-range mage to dash in and be able to get their damage on the correct targets there. So the split-pushing Tryndamere, I think, is going to be the story of Voyboy today.
2v1 lanes being noted right now. High. We'll have to see where he brings himself. We have seen Scar take Zed in one of the solo lanes, and he has actually taken Diana and Karthus into a solo. Oh, that just happened!
Camera was on you for that one, Saint. Look at his face, though. You see that camera? He didn't flinch.
No, not at all. Not at all, because he's still going to get the smite.
Yeah, he was just practicing there. You know, maybe that's the reason. Oh, that's the correction they've made for his smite missing. They've actually switched Saintvicious smite and flash.
Yeah.
Because he never used to mess up his flashes.
Nope.
So he's actually decided to trade them. Now he'll mess up all the flashes, but none of the smites.
Just being flashy. Starting it off at 2 minutes and 20 into this game. We're going to say that flash is the 100 gold lead we see coming in here. Saintvicious now coming up. He is not going to be able to flash for this, though. Oh, no. Oh, he got him still. The audacious charge. There's the 3rd talent strike. Voyboy's not close enough. That's exactly what we were talking about. If Karthus hits Tryndamere and Zen, it's it.
So this is the situational pick. That was the word I was looking for earlier. That Saintvicious referred to as the Xin Zhao pickup. And it's when he does have a champion like Karthus that's very squishy that he could combo for the early ganks there. And it's anytime you have a farm-centric person like Karthus in the lane, a viable strategy is to match him up against someone else who loves to get farm for the late game, which would be obviously that Tryndamere. No surprise here down from Cloud9 though. Meteos goes to that 3 versus 1 situation to shove a lane down.
That Ashe and Zyra is so good at just pushing the lane. You can't get close. You're either going to get rooted or you're going to get slowed by volley and take a good amount of damage. And this turret, again, very Cloud9 TSM-esque, if you will, as we have the jungler going top in the same aspect, or same respect, rather. And it's going to be Saint holding off. But Cloud9 grabbed this turret, and that's not even down 25%.
So we're going to have the turret answered, but they are delayed. And this extra 30 seconds or so that it's going to take Terse to take down the top one means that Cloud9 can roll over for a very, very early dragon.
Absolutely crazy. They get the Spirit Fire down immediately, and they go at it. Gonna get some plants out and seeds from LemonNation to do a little bit more help. They're gonna micro this damage back and forth, so they make sure they can get out safely. Great pressure by Voyboy in the mid lane. They're not seeing balls go anywhere.
Interesting choice here by Saintvicious to recall and not continue to put damage on the secondary turret here, because they're aware that no one else from Cloud9's been seen. Edward with the hook onto High.
Whoa, Edward over. He's forced to flash. A very nice job there. First dragon going to Cloud9 at 4 minutes into the game.
And now High has the option to try and freeze this lane and just keep it building up as big as possible down at his second turret. It looks like he is just going for last hits right now, and the rest of Cloud9 rotating up from that dragon to mid lane.
Can almost hear that. Oh, LemonNation getting a little too close. He is able to get out a beautiful wall for balls. Edward's like, all right, I'll walk around.
And he throws out the panic ignite there. That's the one that's just to set Saintvicious on fire, tell him to get off of me right now, because
surprise,
LemonNation was worried for his life right there.
7,200, 6,500. That's 72 in favor of Cloud9. Only at 5 minutes in, the turret working in their favor, and the roam pressure really to start coming into their favor as well. Cop answering for Curse to put the AD and support mid, as they will be facing off against Sneaky and Lemon.
So even though Curse did lose out on the dragon here, at least they didn't have to lose the giant minion wave that was up in the top lane, because High, having no vision, was too scared to push his giant minion wave all the way to the turret, and now that giant blob of blue farm is available for Voyboy, the Tryndamere, who is going to be getting extremely fed extremely early in this game. You can see the minion wave stop just before the turret, and now it's Voyboy's turn to control that minion wave and keep it extended so that High will be in danger anytime he goes very far up into this top lane.
Looks like we have enough time on these wards. Edward doing a great job, has a pink aggressively placed all the way at Cloud9's blue, so they can get at that. It's going to be another minute, about 15 seconds before it comes up. They also have the bottom half warded, and Cloud9 is kind of working off just the lane vision right now, so we'll have to see if they can keep this up. No kills. That's because these wards are keeping people safe.
And the next thing that we want to look for that wards won't keep you safe from is a Requiem from Balls.
Ooh, yeah.
As soon as Balls hits level 6, you can expect some action in that mid lane, because the Zyra Ashe combo of the Grasping Roots and the Crystal Arrow, once they do hit 6, will combo so well with the added damage of a Requiem from bottom lane.
Wow, Nyjacky level 4 to the level 6 of Balls in that bottom lane. You can see how much pressure he was given in that 3v1 as he was taken down with Meteos, Sneaky, and Lemon.
And High is getting completely zoned out in the top.
Ah, the play hits him. He's forced to flash. A great shot. The headshot was up for Cop, and it just obliterated the health bar of Sneaky.
So Saintvicious definitely taking advantage of the power that Shin has early in this game, which is exactly what they need to do. And now that they have pressure in the mid lane, they're shoved up against the turret already. Voyboy can start pushing this top lane against High, not freezing it anymore.
High trying to dance this one out, trading a little bit of damage
Nyjacky trying to dance down bottom, though.
Oh, Nyjacky gets himself taken out, going for that one. Just pressuring up a little too much. Like we said, he was level 4 to that level 6, and he really tried to go in too hard.
So Nyjacky, he didn't have the escape of his ultimate there, the Spirit Fire, whereas Balls recognized this, having the 2-level giant advantage over him, just exhausts Nyjacky, and there's nowhere for Nyjacky to get out of there. He does go down, didn't even burn his flash.
Things going back in that top lane. Voyboy, he has to have a smile on his face right now. Everything's happening the way it needs to. Nobody's pressuring him. He's free farming in that lane, and he's going to get bigger than he probably thought he would, a lot quicker.
Yeah, so we basically have the same situation that we talked about in mid lane. Balls trying to continuously farm, and Voyboy trying to continuously farm. They do get the pressure on Balls to force the flash out.
Very close. He did that flash to come up. Could not crescent slash him back. Looks like they're going to be able to get out safe. We do see Zyra coming up towards that top lane. LemonNation looking to give High a bit of assistance and possibly a bit of vision. Requiem going down. Saint is alive. And we're going to check a replay of that Nyjacky going down to the bottom lane right now.
So I was watching this one, and it definitely is the level of disparity here. He goes in, pops the exhaust. At this point, Jacky's only escape would be to flash over that wall, but he doesn't want to waste it because Balls also had his flash, and he could easily just follow him there. So pretty easy kill. Solo coming out there. It's anytime you have that level discrepancy, you have to be wary. And this is one of the mistakes that we see when solo laners are forced to lanes they're not quite familiar with. Jacky having to leave the mid lane and go to the long lane before he's level 6.
And it's actually been quite different. The wards now all depleted off the map just about, and still a lot of pressure from Cop. We saw the pressure actually hurting Sneaky. Once again, these guys get caught. They had a ward on the bottom side, but it may not be enough. They throw it on the Stranglethorn. A great job on stopping the Audacious charge, but the slow did proc onto Sneaky. They're going to be able to get out with the kiting ability of Ash, and now deal a little bit of damage for themselves here. They could finalize this one, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
And they just pulled off the clink there. That's why we call Zyra the queen of the disengage, and I keep on repeating the control that a Zyra Ash lane brings. It's actually not even a ward that was in that tri-bush. They make use of their hawk shots and their seedlings from Zyra to make all of their vision happen. This allows LemonNation to not spend money on wards, and he goes for the very early Philo Stone and then into the Sight Stone right after that. So as far as supports are concerned, we see him in the end game with a bit more items than usual.
Getting caught out. Jacky tried to do this. History may repeat itself here for Jacky. That's a full mana bar just about coming in for Balls. He hit the lay waste last time. Takes a good bit of damage there. The hook from Edward to finalize the Orb of Deception, but no, to give it over to Saint.
Jacky, no faith in Edward right there. Actually flashes instead of taking the Lantern ride. A little bit of miscommunication still coming out. Maybe that Russian to English didn't translate there. We need some Russian to Chinese going on.
2-1 here, 10.5 minutes in. The turret goes down, but the dragon on the other side of the map being brought into Curse's hands. This was a dragon for Cloud9 at 4 minutes.
Dragon is not worth an inhibitor turret, but Voyboy closing in on top with red buff means that Meteos is in trouble.
I don't think they knew they were all here right now. Meteos is going to go down. The KDA gets crushed a little bit more, and Voyboy throws down the Undying Rage to stay alive.
Does have to pop the ultimate at the very last second right there. Didn't want to go down to the last tick of Ignite and cut it too close there. I think the reason for that overextension from Cloud9 was the fact that they had a ward on the dragon and they wanted to answer for something because Curse was grabbing that global gold. So they forced it, and it was a little bit too much.
And you can see now that the mid laners were kind of pressured out with the compositions brought into the game. They're a good 40-30 CS behind everybody. 58-48, 80s for the top lane, 70 and 90 for the AD carries. So we're looking to get these mid laners ramped up. We haven't seen High being himself. It's not that he hasn't. He just hasn't had the chance. He doesn't have the items yet.
So the reason that he doesn't have the items yet is because we had him halfway shove that wave I talked about earlier, and it allowed Voyboy to freeze that wave at his turret. And Voyboy made use of his level advantage to keep High off of the minion wave for so long that High was not able to grab any experience or money in that. But for Cloud9, it's not that bad. The exact opposite situation happened for them down bottom, where Balls was able to use his level advantage to do the same thing to Jacky. So really, the farm is concentrated where we expected it to be. Voyboy for Curse and Balls for Cloud9.
And it's actually not going to equal out as we look at High and Nyjacky in this case. That 58-48 is now 80-54. All the farm is being controlled by the entire team of Curse, while High is getting free farm lanes to get where he wants. 12.5 minutes in, Cloud9 getting very scary, and you can see that Curse takes that into consideration now, guarding mid-turret to just 2 members.
And Voyboy chases down High. He's got a red buff now. The Blade of the Ruin King active is going to be enough.
The ultimate is going to be up for Undying Rage, but he's going to have the one slow. He goes, he doesn't even get a chance to use it.
Baited in there. Whoa. It wasn't a Blade of the Ruin King active. That's the Cutlass. It's just a little bit slower, but or shorter, but it does have a similar effect. Voyboy 100% baited it into that one there, and Meteos comes in to take out this turret.
Looks like they will be able to get it. Ghost and Exhaust still safe there. I think Voyboy knew he was going to go down. He's saving the cooldowns for this. The team looks to actually converge on this bottom lane. We'll see if they can get both, possibly just one.
Edward does get caught in the mid, though. It's the Zyra-Ash combo.
No, he flashes out straight against the wall. They're going to be able to follow him here. He throws down the box with sneaky flashes for that as well. This is what they wanted. They're actually trying to make it back to the other half of the team in mid lane, though. Meteos may be able to make it. He throws it down the ace in the hole, takes him out. The team knows it's going to happen, and they save face. Walk out in the one-to-one.
Voyboy's back up now. He's returned from his death chamber, so now it can be answered with 3 members of Curse on this mid turret.
And you got to remember, Voyboy did not waste anything last time. He's going into this fight with a full everything. Beautiful roots right down onto Voyboy. Does not allow his slash to get him into position.
Exactly. He also popped the Ghost. As soon as the Ghost was popped,
yep,
we had the grasping roots from LemonNation sticking him in place, so the summoner spell...
That was big.
Yeah, got used with no effect right there.
Very good play. We talk about that zoning of Zyra so much, and we can see just a simple E shuts down a summoner spell right there. 4-3 here at 14 minutes in. 3,000 gold lead in favor of Cloud9. It's staying small, but it is staying in their favor here. 5-2 in turrets, a huge contribution to that, and it's diminishing Curse's vision on the map, so they have to start warding more.
Karthus just going up top lane to gobble up that extra minions. Anytime there's some left on the map, we see these 2 members go to collect all of the golds. Now Voyboy is also going to go up there and answer back.
In another one of these cases, too, you know, we bring up what Sneaky has said and Meteos being in lanes a lot. He is going to be down in CS, and while his team has shared a bit of it, that's the kind of way they play, so everybody can be on the same level to really engage.
Speaking of Sneaky, they are sneaking down towards this bottom lane here, and Curse only have 3 members, so they're aware that they're a little bit overextended,
Enchanted
but they
Crystal
could
Arrow.
still get chased down.
Oh, he's going to walk.
There it is!
He fires it out! Yeah, right by. But he still goes for the death mark. Tries to set it down. Saintvicious right onto high. And that is going to be the Stranglethorns. The Zyra disengage. The re-engage coming back from high. And Meteos, he is trying to walk past Edward. And he says, fine, I will take this one. Thank you very much.
Wanted to get caught for that one too, but not able to chase him down. So they do turn back and take the one that's closest to them. Even though the Ash Arrow did not hit, it forced the dodge backwards from St. Edward, which made them waste a lot of time. They couldn't run, and that was enough space for Cloud9 to catch up to them.
As you can see, since Sneaky has picked that, he has won every single time with the team. Balls onto Nyjacky once again. This is the 3rd time we're going to see this engagement, and this time he does not get help from his team. 2 times in favor of balls.
This is the problem. When you do go and pick a mage assassin to try and counter Karthus, you have to give him the same amount of farm that the Karthus is getting. Because they're having Jacky in the off lane, he's so much weaker than Karthus. He continually trying to duel balls, but he just doesn't have the money to back it up.
That's almost half CS there, Kobe. 165 to 84 in those lanes. 6,800 overall gold to 4,500. And that's a complete core item.
Curse have put so much on Voyboy's shoulders by feeding that Tryndamere with the free lane that they had. And he just has not been mobile enough to make use of the power that he's bought with that gold. Tryndamere, as with all melee AD carries, has a very, very hard time with being kited. And since Cloud9 went with their Ash Zyra combo, they've got plenty of abilities to make use of that.
We'll have to take into consideration now Cloud9 takes another dragon. The last time they lost dragon, they took a turret. So with this happening, Curse was actually just set on the back foot. They watched that dragon go down. So Cloud9 has nothing to worry about coming off the back of that. A 6,000 gold lead now in their favor with 4 more turrets of an advantage on the map.
And closing in on the 20-minute mark, we're going to start to see that weakness I talked about in Champion Select of Curse, where they're a very dive-centric team with these melee diving champions in Tryndamere and Xin Sao that are going to have a very hard time dealing with the Zyra disengage and the AoE damage of Karthus. If they dive in, all of them are going to be getting hit by the Defile and the Lay Waste as well.
Oh, he throws it down. Balls actually looked at him for the time being, and he's going to try to go hard on this one. If he can just kite it out a little bit, the more Voyboy hits, the more he can slash at him, and he's able to get the kill there.
Requiem's up, he can answer.
Requiem is there, and they may be able to live through this one, but no, because there's no magic resistance.
He wanted a life steal to get that one back up, but not quite enough yet. So we see, finally, the two powers of these two teams collide. This was the duel that Curse could actually win. And even though Voyboy took him out first, he did end up paying the price. The thing is, cooldown on Karthus is actually a bit more important than the cooldown on Undying Rage. So a small win for Curse right there.
And with that fight, you can kind of see Voyboy still ramping up. He's not at that, I'm going to hit you 3 times and completely crush you in. So even at this time, Cloud9's taking it slow, but wouldn't you feel like they kind of want to engage before Voyboy gets to that point?
I don't think they're worried about it because of the 3 picks that they have in the Zyra, the Ashe, and the Nasus. They've got a lot of answers for Voyboy in team fights. So the only thing that they have to worry about is Voyboy in solo lanes and watching out for those duels. Cloud9, they don't feel like they have to rush just because of that Tryndamere pick. And even though Tryndamere is looking for that Blade of the Ruined King, once you get that combo with a static Shiv, then he really hits a huge power spike because of the extra slow and percentage damage. They're not worried about it.
Just trying to clear out farm waves right now as we bring it up to the 20th minute here in the game. They're actually onto the inhibitor turrets right now. Pretty average, but it's not even second tier turrets coming in for Cloud9. So Curse definitely on the back foot as they try to figure out how to stop these fights and how to ramp themselves up more without sharing all of this farm that's coming into them, because their items aren't being finished as fast.
Right here, we can just see how Cloud9 are not rushing anything, and they aren't worried about the late game because they had everyone in position to march on an open inhibitor, which is the easiest fight you can take, and they actually decided to send balls back to that top lane to continue to free farm, and they just pull their forces out of the Cursed jungle. They are not worried at all about stalling this one out. I can talk a little bit more about this Tryndamere build and explain why the Static Shiv and Blade of the King are so big on him. If you guys haven't seen this popular Tryndamere build in the solo queue, Static Shiv, Tryndamere scales the best off of attack speed and crits. So it gives both of those, plus the proc there with the charges, where the 100 charges will give you a chain lightning, can actually crit too. So that is a 200 damage chain lightning come through your whole team if that crits as well. And since Tryndamere has so much crit damage, or so much crit chance, then he gets those crits on basically the whole team.
And you can see the way he's playing in the bottom lane. Is somebody going to farm this? Can I assassinate somebody? I'm getting to that point. It can start to happen. 2 minutes to come up onto Dragon, so they're going to make sure that lane is pushed. We're probably going to see another plethora of wards going down in that bottom lane. The last Dragon fight had at least 4 from each team.
You're right. Voyboy's desperately calling out in that bottom lane. Please send someone to duel me, because we don't want to team fight you guys at all. And it looks like Hai is going to actually rise to the challenge here. He is not afraid.
He did pick up his last Whisper on that last back. 34,700 to 28,000 on the board. Those 6 turrets have slowed down. Curse is not allowing the fights because they know, like you said, they want to pause this.
Go!
I'm a liar. Saintvicious goes diving right in. Nyjacky has not finished the Zanies. He's still on the Seeker. He's going to be focused. He goes down right away. Saint's not putting out the damage that they need, and the gap close finally comes in. Meteos is only able to shoot or get shot by Cop right now. Cop trying to get himself into that fight. They finally can follow up here, but here comes Hai. The Requiem goes down. The Deathmark takes out one. There's still their LemonNation and Hai. A beautiful flash from Edward. The caster minion not strong enough to take him down, and they turn tail and run home.
Even though that was a lost team fight for Curse, that was a good call from Saintvicious. He took advantage of Zyra not being with the team. They didn't have their disengage at that moment. It's just too bad for Saint that he didn't have any members of his team in position to act on that one. So they almost were able to burst down Sneaky, but because of the barrier and the flash, Ashe got out alive, and it was just terrible news for Curse.
The want is just so much right now. Hai trying to stay in the charm to come out. He does not dodge the charm, and he will go down. That is a shutdown, but it's a 3-kill shutdown. So not too much gold, but it does go to Nyjacky.
Pretty small consolation prize there for Curse. They're definitely not happy with the outcome of that last one. They want to be able to jump on those opportunities when Zyra is not next to Ashe. Those buddies need to stay hand in hand pretty much the whole game here, because that's exactly what Curse are going to try and do. They're going to repeatedly try and dive that Ashe, burst her down, And we saw in that last team fight also the effectiveness of the grasping roots from LemonNation, just negating Voyboy's Undying Rage completely. He popped the ultimate, but can't walk anywhere, so there's nothing to hit with that immense damage that he gets at that point, and he was just completely countered.
Gotta say that Curse is they are losing turrets consistently here, and that's not going to be good, but they're making the fights they need to make. They're showing Cloud9 that they need to be a little bit afraid, and that's what Curse has to do. They have to make Cloud9 respect them right now, because if they don't, Cloud9's gonna make this another one of their average 28-minute games.
And like Cloud9, even though Curse got a nice early start to this game, and they had a slight upper hand, they were not worried because they saw the team comp was prepped perfectly, and they knew exactly what they're going into at the 15-minute mark. Just like I called, they're not going to have to worry about the fed melee AD carries because they've got so many answers just built into the champions that they've already selected here, and they're still not worried at all about the time. This open inhibitor has been a free target for them this entire time, and they haven't gone back to it.
So this build for Voyboy here, he kind of ditches out Blade of the Rune King right away and says, I want damage. BF Sword picked up right away.
So he's actually decided to change because of the fact that it's dangerous now even for him to duel. Getting that completed Blade of the Rune King actually isn't going to help them at all since they don't have that inhibitor turret down bottom. He's going to have to be in the team fights, and he needs just straight AD to actually get that extra little oomph that would be the difference between Ashe dying and Ashe not dying.
Right. We'll have to see now. Curse adapting to what's going on in the game, seeing that Cloud9 may have that bit of a lead, and definitely showing that respect. Balls to back in the top lane. Requiem is up, so even if they saw him back, they still get that in the fight. Everybody mobilizing towards the bottom lane here. They really don't have much to do. It looks like they're just going to clean up and play some wards.
Wards are definitely a good thing at this point in the game because, as you can see now, Voyboy is always hesitant to pick one of these fights. There's no vision for him right now. He doesn't know if High has 3 members of Cloud9 standing right behind him, but he goes for it anyway.
He is going to try this. They're not engaging. He knows he's the only one there. It's going to be the death. Under the turret, he tries to get the charge down. He's going to have to back off to one more attack, and Voyboy's able to do it. All ultimates being thrown down in middle. They go for the haymakers here. It's going to be 2 down going onto the side of Curse. High is already down. It's going to be the Death-Defy from Karthus, so Balls follows, but he gets a double kill on the Requiem as Edward limps away from the fight.
The power of this Karthus, 568 AP, was enough to destroy Cop through that barrier.
So many times this season we've seen a lot of the Karthus going for the Seraph, not going for the Void, not going for the Rabadons, and they're kind of just, start the fight, initiate, or use the wall to get in there. But Balls is crushing people down right now. Like you said, 600 AP can't be stopped, and it's 4 members in the Death Chamber right now as the inhibitor goes down in favor of Cloud9.
And that was the upside of this Ashe Zyra combo. Not only do they have the queen of the support disengages, Zyra, but they've got the queen of the engage ADs, which is Ashe, and they can easily start that 4v4 fight. As soon as Voyboy was able to win that 1v1, they immediately didn't hesitate because they knew that the rest of their team is strong enough to take out the remnants of Curse. Ashe arrow hits, they get a free team fight.
And that as well, you can actually kind of... Yeah, you can actually kind of get on the static shiv as well, right? Tryndamere looking for that crit damage to spark out and spike. You can get that with Ashe's passive as well on the static shiv.
And that's why we've got the Ashe with Infinity Edge and Static Shiv, which will both help with the crit damage, but also the wave clearing.
Yeah, crushing down. If volley wasn't enough. Taking down the waves every 4 seconds. High trying to farm the mid lane. They have, besides top, successfully pushed everything past that river. Rule of thumb, cross the river with friends. It's dangerous, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Cloud9, now that they've already destroyed the front middle lane of Curse's base, going to go towards the bottom.
If they can chase this down, they got the wither there. He did use the spinning slash just to get out. Throws down the ultimate. He's going to look angry while this happens, but he is going to go down in the end.
Undying Rage doesn't last too long, and Voyboy dies. He ran out of rage.
You can see that they aren't too thrilled about this. They're going to be coming into the base with some of their highest DPS down. The death sentence misses. The inhibitor will go down 1 for 1 on the abilities, but the inhibitor, a little bit more of a factor there. High going down into Saintvicious, one of the tankier people on the team, still trying to be executed out here. He throws down his ultimate to save himself. It's going to be Balls going down, but the Requiem is still up. The health bars get crushed down. He picks up another kill for himself. The Nexus turrets in the eyes of Cloud9.
Congratulations to Cloud9. They've only got 2 more to deal with. Cop and Saintvicious are here.
It's going to be that Nexus turret. It's going to be the Nexus Kobe. They try to get out of Sneaky. He puts the flash down. The kiting is there. He doesn't even need to kite because his team locks down Satan in shackles. Cop may follow with the wither on him. Voyboy's actually here, though. He may be able to turn this around. Another good route coming from LemonNation, and these guys can't even approach the fight with HP.
They get the wither onto Voyboy, and now they're going to go on the Nexus here. They should be able to secure this one pretty easily.
Cloud9 puts another 28.5-minute average game in their book, being the team, I think, to do that just the most in the LCS as well.
And let me just reiterate once again, the engage from Ashe. This is the reason why all the way back in Season 1, Ashe was the most popular AD carry, because in the late game, when you get a crystal arrow to hit and that guaranteed engage, they can take out whoever that one grabs. You can see Voyboy paid the price just in this last push, but it's such a strong utility skill in the late game, and it fits so well with Cloud9 because Sneaky, like we said, doesn't take a lot of the farm, so he's more of a utility-oriented AD carry, and having that extra guaranteed engage is perfect for their team.
I gotta say, obviously, he was the one arrow we talked about that made them force back in the walk that he missed. It almost like a long-range rumble ulti. He was trying to hit it, but still the fact of his placement, he's like, I'm gonna make sure it at least goes in front of them, because it will stop them. So just the thought of the engage there, the hawk shot being used instead of wards, their map was completely dark on that top side, and they were getting ganked over and over again, but safe.
Yeah, I like the combo. It's the hawk shot plus the seeds, plus the fact that Cloud9 always run side lanes that also push up. So you get extra vision from all your lanes being pushed up at the same time, and those will naturally draw the jungler out of the jungle. So half of the time, Cloud9 know where the jungler is because he's in a lane, and the other half, you can cover with those hawk shots and the seeds.
So we got a replay of that matchup, a 4 for 3 in mid, with Cloud9 coming out on top.
Oh, so this was Saintvicious engage right here. He got out Sneaky. You can see how low they get him because Zyra wasn't with them, but because no members of Curse were with Saintvicious to capitalize on that. It was basically both teams kind of split and out of position, and since Zyra finally did come to the party there, you can see him locking up Voyboy right there, and that was the negating that Undying Rage like I was talking about. They just completely controlled that team fight. So if the rest of the members of Curse were with him at that point, it would have been a beautiful engage, and that could have been the difference in this entire game. But since both teams were kind of split, turned against him.
You know, it just shows this game as well, opening up Balls' champion pool. He still has it with other champions, too. It's kind of crazy, the amount of impact he brings to a game in any lane.
And they were not scared either. Not only did they give him a new champion, though, they were confident in giving him almost all the farm. They wanted to funnel all their money onto Balls and let him carry with this Karthus that we haven't seen a lot.
He made it happen. Nyjacky tried to face him more than one time, and 2 out of the 3 times, it was all Balls taking that down. Nyjacky only lived the time he had his team helping him. So Curse was spread thin the whole time. Great job by Cloud9 to pick up another win. We've got to take a short break, but when we return, we'll be joined by Cloud9's LemonNation and Balls to talk about their perfect week.